You can call me AA Ron, because I done messed up. I could not get that front camera to start before the race, so rear camera footage only tonight. Our Pacific Raceways 7 p.m. Cat 4-5 race. Tonight is the escape route. It's been a while since I've done it. Now I was kind of hoping to get a chance to do it again before the end of the season. In fact, it's been such a long time since they did the escape route. The Devo squad lineup has changed, so most of the people on the team haven't done it. Luckily, though, early in the season, I gained some experience in the escape route and made every possible mistake. So prior to the start of this race, we did a little recon lap where I told them all the mistakes I made, and hopefully they don't repeat them. So what makes the escape route interesting is the elevation change on the backside of the course. There's a nice big descent that can bring you right to the front of the field, but that can set you up for a trap where you attack the hill, and then as you get to the very top of the hill, you start to fade, you lose speed right as the rest of the field swarms you, and they start accelerating, and then they can easily drop you on the front side of the course. So my advice to the bigger guys like myself was to ease up on the effort prior to the descent, drift to the back of the field, knowing that our extra weight is going to carry us up to the front during the descent. And then everyone just kind of take it easy in the first half of the climb, save your energy, so that way you can spend your energy at the top of the hill and accelerate out of the climb. So I'll start this descent at the back of the pack. And here I am finishing the climb, now at the front of the pack, with the heart rate still below 150. And that low heart rate allows me to easily respond to this person's attack off the front. So at the end of the first lap, I find myself on the front, and I don't want to be there. So I try to pull off, but no one really comes around. I end up getting a little bit boxed in. So I decide to make it seem like I'm going for an attack, and then instantly give up on it, hoping that somebody started to follow me and then just decides to keep going. That's exactly what happens with this Apex rider behind me. So he goes off by himself. He gets about 50 meters in front of the field and stays there for half a lap. If more people went with him, I would have joined him, but just one person by themselves on this course, I know it's not going to last, so I don't even bother chasing. So the Apex rider is still pretty far in front of us, and I have a feeling that someone's going to start panicking now, and they're going to start chasing and counterattacking. So on the descent, I move up to the front of the field so I could be in the action. So I'm able to see Apex's game plan. The front side of the course, they launched a flyer, hoping someone would chase. No one did. And as he got caught, they tried to do it again. But this time I was worried about it, because they had another Apex rider at the front of the field that was obviously getting the soft pedal and let his teammate get away. So I couldn't let that happen. So I see we have some separation. I'm still feeling good, so once I catch up to that Apex guy in the silver BMC, I immediately do a pull.
Keep it together!
So I finished my pull, but I see a little gap between these two Apex riders. I immediately fill that in. I want this break to stick. So this break has 8 people in it. It's a little big, but there's still plenty of opportunity for that number to get smaller. Although right now I'm not liking my odds. There's 2 Audi riders and 2 Apex riders in this break, so I'm a bit outnumbered. And unfortunately, just as we establish a break, it's a pre-lap. And that has a real potential of causing a large break like this to fall apart. So as I go to the back of this break, I'm able to actually take a look at who's with us, and luckily I see Taylor. He did an awesome job of seeing that break form and catching up to it, and now I have some help. So this break's a little disorganized. I'm not quite sure if people were purposely soft pedaling, but I just noticed we dipped down to 23 miles an hour when we should be doing 28. So I go back to the front, try to re-accelerate us. And that's going to happen a few more times. I think we have some sprinters in this group who are trying to save their energy. But I'm not a sprinter, so I need this break to stick. I've already committed enough energy. I want it to go to the end of the race. I'm not going to let a few sprinters slow us down. So I don't mind taking a few extra pulls. And Andrew on the right side, an Audi, a red bike. Him and I are jumping back to the front every once in a while just to keep this break together and away from the field.
You go for the free! Regroup after!
So I don't normally go for preems, but I look at my heart rate and it's pretty low. So I think I could risk it. And Audi's at the front right now, and the guy's looking over his left shoulder. So I start my sprint on the right side of the course, hoping he doesn't see me. But Taco Time saw me coming, and he went off. So as soon as I realize I'm not going to get this preem, I just start coasting, start my recovery now. Again, the plan is for everyone to regroup right after this preem. So I notice here we're kind of going slow again. I don't know, maybe we're tired from the preem. So I go right to the front just to get us back up to speed again, because I don't want to get caught by the field. So Andrew just told me that he thinks me and him are just pulling everyone else around the course. And while I do agree with him, I think it's a little too early to try to break this up. I was expecting a 45-minute race tonight, we're not even at 20 minutes yet. So I at least want to get past the halfway point before I start thinking about making this break smaller. But Andrew goes out the front solo. I think he went too early, so I don't follow him. I kind of let him hang out there by himself for a bit. But what I forgot was, Andrew and I were doing lots of the work in this break, keeping it fast. So without him in the break, there's a real risk of our break slowing down and him just getting away. And that's exactly what happens. So as I go to the back to recover from my pole, I notice we start slowing down again, and Andrew's actually getting further away. So now I realize there's a real risk of him staying away the whole race. So I decided it's worth it to bridge up to him. So, fortunately, as I catch up to Andrew, the rest of the break caught us. Which kind of tells me that there are definitely people in there holding back. So I forgot that during my bridge attempt to Andrew, it was a preem lap. And I realize now I'm actually in a good position. So I go for it.
Go for the free!
And because no one else really challenged me, I'm actually doubting if it was a preem at this moment in time. So I was across the start-finish line. They were holding up the 2 laps to go sign, which kind of caught me off guard. I was expecting a 45-minute race. This is going to turn out to be like a 37-minute race.
Neutral, move on the right.
So at the end of this lap, the 1, 2, 3 field catches us and neutralizes our race. So this really messed up my plan. I actually wanted to launch early, force some sprinters in this break to chase me down, regroup, recover, and then do it again, hopefully to drop them. But with the 1, 2, 3 field in front of us, I couldn't. So the neutralization forced me to change my plan, and I decided I want to go long, and I'm thinking about doing it at the end of the climb. And I'm waiting for Taylor to come back after his pull so I could let him know my plan. But as he's done with his pull, the rest of the break kind of fans out and slows down, and I realize someone's about to go. So it might as well be me.
Yeah, we got half a lap to go.
I wasn't expecting Taylor to do this, but he does an excellent job of catching up to me without bringing anyone along with him. And I check back, and I'm actually feeling pretty good about this. I'm hoping we can take a few turns and take it all the way to the end. So I see behind us the break is chasing, and they have a decent amount of speed. So I put in one last effort at the top of the climb, hoping that they pop. But it doesn't work, so we're forced to regroup and try to sprint. I see Trayvon's not closing this gap, so I move behind Taylor so he can lead me out. But unfortunately, I'm not much of a sprinter, so I only get 5th. Again, it would have been nice if we didn't get neutralized and I had the chance to force that break to chase me down twice rather than only once. I had a ton of fun during this race. The escape route's always fun. I love being in breaks. And tonight I just had so much energy and I felt willing to take more risks than normal. But that's it. That is my final Cat 4 race. Next week, I'll be racing in the Cat 1, 2, 3 field.